The Word of God, real food. Real food. If y'all stand and welcome our Pastor Brown.
The church say amen. Amen. Let's give the Lord a hand clap of praise. I know we can do better than that. Let's lift the Lord up in this place. He is worthy to be praised. We have the Bibles. Look at the book of James. 4th chapter. Beginning in that 7th verse. I encourage you at some point on today or later on this week, if you'll read this chapter in its entirety. But many of these verses are hinged on, from my understanding, on these verses. Is verse 7. You have to say amen. Before I get into reading, I have to say that I don't know if we acknowledged it this month, but I know that Willie's birthday is today, so he's not here, but we want to say happy birthday to him. Abby's was yesterday. She older than me. I don't know how she got past me, but she did. Amen. I want to say happy birthday to her. She holds a very special place in my heart. And then my baby, her birthday will be tomorrow. John, she getting the oldest, me too. So we thank God for that. Anybody else birthday in this month? Nobody else. So we want to just say happy birthday to you. Amen. It reads, submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. You may be seated. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. I want to preach about how to win the war. How to win the war. This sermon is really all-inclusive because all of us are fighting a war. Yeah. No matter if you want to or not. You can lay down if you want to. But I would encourage you to stand up. You don't even have to pick the fight. Life has a way of bringing some fights to you.
Amen.
It's not always other people you fight. Bro, I found out that some of my most dangerous and most crucial wars are me fighting with myself. Thought y'all would say more there. But if truth be told, you have to fight sometimes with yourself. That's a good place to be in a sense, because if you're not fighting against yourself, that means you're doing everything that self wants to do. If you look at this world says, do what you feel. Do what you like. Don't answer to anybody. Do what you feel like doing, and whatever seems right to you is right. Whatever your truth is truth. And you see that more often now than people say, this is my truth. Well, Janette, if I be honest, I don't really have a truth. We will lie in a minute. We will lie to ourselves. We will lie to other folk. And you got to fight the war in order not to stand on your truth, but to stand on the truth. And the only truth I know is the word of God. You see James writing, and he's addressing the church. He is addressing the Christians of that age. And what is going on is they are warring with one another. I knew y'all would get quiet there. But some of the most ugliest fights I have encountered, some of the nastiest things that I have heard people say have happened right in the church. I know y'all aren't going to want to talk, but that's all right, because James addresses it. And there's no need of us acting as if war don't go on in church, because it does. But he addresses this war and how to win this war. If you look in verse 1, he says, from whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lust that war in your members? What he is saying to them, Daddy, is that the reason why y'all are warring against one another is because you're really fighting with yourself. He says because the reason why you are fighting with yourself and warring with others is because of your own lust. And can I tell you that all of us have to deal with our own nasty desires? Preach, Josh Bryan. I'm going to go ahead and preach anyway, even though y'all don't want to talk. And he deals with three things. In verse 7 and verse 8, he deals with our desires. He deals with the devil. And then he deals with our distance. It's right there in the text. He says, but y'all are fighting amongst each other because really you don't like nobody else, because baby you don't really like yourself. And can I tell you that there's a whole lot of people in this world, they ain't happy with themselves, and since they're not happy with themselves, they want to cause hell in everybody else's life. Preach, Josh Brown, I am. He says there is a war going on over in the inside of us. And it's your own lust that causes you to act the way you act. What a better church we would have. And I'm not just talking about this local body, I'm talking about the church in a universal scheme. What a better body of believers we would have if we sat or put aside our own desires. Amen. Teach it. Told you last week how to pray about your problem, and what prayer really is. Prayer is not for you to get anything from God. I know we think that prayer is just for us to get what we want, but what prayer really is, prayer is me taking everything to and laying it down and saying, God, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with myself. I really don't know what to do with my life. I don't know what to do with my children. I don't know what to do with my job. I don't know what to do with my money. God, here it is. And you straighten it out and show me which way to go. Amen. That's what prayer is. Prayer is you giving your will up and picking up the will of God. Lord, I want to do it my way, but I know my way is not right. Lord, let me do it your way. I'm sometimes concerned about how quick many of us will make decisions in life. Because now we live in a microwave society, and we're so quick to make decisions about life and about others. And sometimes I have to scratch my head, even watching myself, when I have made quick decisions or decisions off of the sleeve to where you didn't really consider what God wanted you to do. You've got to be careful. I told you, you got to take everything to God in prayer. Lord, where should I work? Where should I live? God is concerned with all of you and not just some of you. He says, y'all are fighting amongst each other because you're fighting within yourself. Can I tell you that when fight break out amongst Christians, you know what it does? It really distracts us from who the real enemy is. Now we're consumed with beating one another up when we ain't really enemies. It's the devil and this world that's our enemy. And we've got to put things in perspective, baby, that where we can come together based on God's word, which is the truth. Amen. He said, y'all are warring. He said, because, and look what he says. He used some strong language with them. Look at verse 2. He said, you lust, and guess what? You have not. He said, you lust, and you have not. He said, you're looking at what other folk got. You want it. And even if you get it, you still ain't going to be pleased. You ever had something or somebody or whatever it was that you wanted, and when you got it, you still wasn't happy. Enough wasn't still enough. Watch the strong language he says. He says, ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. He calls them, Tracy, murderers. Watch this. Well, it does not mean that you have to physically kill nobody. What it means is that a lot of times we kill one another with our mouth. We kill for reputation. Y'all ain't gonna, we assassinate people's character with our mouth, and then he said that should not be going on in my house. He says, watch this, verse 3. He said, ye ask. Well, let me back up. He said, and cannot obtain, ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Watch this. He showed us how messed up we really are, Corey. He said, but then when you ask, look at verse 3, and receive not, because you ask amiss. He's still trying to get our desires together. He says that, first of all, you ain't got it because you don't ask for it. And then when you ask for it, you ask for the wrong thing. And can I tell you that prayer is a killing ground to where you say, Lord, not my will, not my desires, but Lord, let me put my desires down and pick up your desires. And can I tell you that sometimes when you pick up God's desires, they don't always feel good. Well, sometimes you got to turn the other cheek. You got to forgive folks. You got to press on. You got to get up and pray even when you don't feel like it. You got to read the word of God even though you tired. You got to say thank you even though you catching heck. Y'all ain't in here. He says, but that's what you do. He said, but you have not because you ask amiss. He said, watch this. Verse 4, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?
All right.
What he's telling them, Daddy, he said, you are warring because you hadn't let the world go. And you have lust in your heart. And since you have lust in your heart, that makes you break out in war against one another.
Right.
Are y'all in here? And what he's really dealing with, Mr. Garcia, he's really dealing with folks coveting other folks' stuff. To where you become jealous and envious and want what other folk got. Listen here, baby. God been too good and God is too big to where you ain't got to get what other folk got. God got enough to give you what he needs for you to have. You ain't got to have nobody else wife. You ain't got to have nobody else husband. You ain't got to have nobody else children. God got enough. He owns it all. And sometimes we walk around as if we serve a stingy God, but we don't. We have a God that will share with us, and if he did it for you, surely he can do it for me. I don't want anybody else's blessings. I want mine because mine have been tailor-made for me. And you can't fit my suit just like I can't fit your suit. God has some things just for you. And what I look like being mad with you because God got you looking fancy. But God can spruce me up too, baby.
All right.
He said, but y'all are fighting amongst each other because you don't like what God has given to other folk. He says, do you think that the scripture says, man, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy? He puts our desires in check. He said, because we're lusting. Because we want to be friends with the world. Becoming God's church. We want to have our cake and our ice cream with the cherry on top. And God said you can't have both. It's over in Revelation. He said, look, I'd rather you be hot or cold. If you're lukewarm, I'll spew you out my mouth. When we make God regurgitate, we make God vomit when we're lukewarm. He said, listen here, you got to decide which side you want to be on. Are you going to be for the world or are you going to be for God's house? He says, when you try to be friends with the world, he said, when you choose to be a friend of the world, then you become God's enemy. That's what that word enmity means. And whenever you become enemies with God, be careful because now you are coming under the wrath of God. And I don't know about you, but I do not want to be consumed by the wrath of God. But because who can stop God from doing what he wants to do? He says, but, see, y'all don't know when to shout. Then this verse 6 is a shouting verse. He said, but he giveth more grace. Let me say it again. I told you y'all don't know when to shout. But he giveth more grace. I'm going to say it again. But he giveth more grace. This is what he's saying, Todd. You messed up. You jacked up. Your heart ain't right. But guess what God gonna give you? I'm gonna give you some more time. I'm gonna still bless you here and there. I'm still gonna look after you. I give you more grace, even though you're doing the wrong thing. Y'all don't know when to shout here, so I shout by myself. But he giveth more grace. You ever ask the Lord? I know y'all don't even raise your hand, don't say nothing. Just keep quiet. But you ever been messed up? Doing messed up stuff? Know you're wrong? You've been convicted by God? But you're still doing it? And you say, Lord, just give me a little bit more time. I know about myself. But for me, sometimes I had to ask God, Lord, just give me some more time. Lord, I ain't built up my strength. I really need your help in this area of my life. Lord, just give me church and acting like we're in a funeral or something. When God, baby, when he woke you up this morning, that was God giving you some more time. And then he hinges it on verse 7.
All right.
Ms. Kellers, he first deals with our desires. This is what he says. Roman, he says, see, a lot of people like to jump right in the middle of this verse. It said, resist the devil. And he should, no, let's back it up. He says, first what you have to do is submit
All right.
to God. Well, what does that mean? What it means is, let me see, can I explain this good? It put your hands up. Give it up.
All right.
And I know it's hard, y'all, but give it up. Like somebody robbing you. Give up your will. Give up your desires. Give up your selfishness. Give up your way of thinking. Give up your jealousy. Give up your anger. Give up your malice. Give up your misunderstanding. Give it all up and then give God the praise. He said, give it up. He says, got to deal with your desires.
All right.
Because you can't fight this war with bad desires. You're not going to win.
All right.
He deals with the desires. And then he deals with the devil. He said, I got to deal with your desires first. He said, because you got to willingly, we've been talking about that in the Bible, so you got to willingly give me your will.
All right.
You give me your will and I'm going to give you my will.
Glory.
It's an exchange. It's a great exchange. The way I said, God, I want to hold on to this.
All right.
But when I go down in prayer, I said, God, if I hold on to this, this ain't gonna do nothing but kill me. Why do you think a whole lot of folk walk around sick? Why do you think a whole lot of folk ain't feeling good? You know why? You know why? Because they got hell in them. And can I tell you that hell is hot? That's why folks so quick to get upset so quickly. I had to work on, I'll just testify, I had to work on that thing because one of my greatest emotions was to get angry. And I had to learn over time that, look, when I get angry like that, I might do anything. And when I look up, it messed me up more than it messed the other person up. I said, now, here I think I'm getting back and getting over. And look at this hole that I'm in. And then to put things in perspective for you, and then here's Satan looking at you, laughing at you. I tricked you once again. Got you all upset. Now nobody wins. And then he's walking around, strutting around as if he won. He says, listen, get your desires under the divine.
Amen. Amen.
He says, submit to the authority of God.
All right.
The reason why a lot of us don't submit to God is because we want to be in authority. We were sharing in Bible study, and y'all look at that. We were sharing about those two diagrams, those two chairs on there. And one had self sitting on the seat. And it talked about a misdirected life. Then it gives you another picture on there where you are at the foot of the seat, or the foot of Jesus, and the cross, which is Jesus Christ, is on the throne.
Yeah.
The only way to get your desires right, God, y'all, is to take yourself off the throne and allow God to be where he's supposed to be, which is sitting on the throne, which he sits high and he looks low. The earth is his footstool. This is his, and you belong to him. And if you belong to him, you ought to do what God tells you to do. He says, get your desires right. Then he says, resist the devil. I don't care who you are. Does not matter about your geographical location. Doesn't matter what kind of alarm you got on your crib.
All right.
Doesn't matter what kind of car you drive. Don't matter if your hair long or short. Curly or not so curly. It doesn't matter. The devil gonna show up.
Yeah.
He's gonna show up. It's not a question about it. But he gives us some ammo tracing of how to deal with it. He said, first of all, I need you to submit to me. Stand under me. Sit under me. Bow down to me. And then watch what he says. Renee says this, after you submit to me, then stand up to the devil. See, we got this picture backwards. Because a lot of times, bro, what we do, we want to stand up to God and resist God. And then bow down to what the devil wants us to do. And God said, that ain't right, baby. He said, you got the picture all twisted. He said, I need you to get up under me. And the one who you need to be standing up against is the world and this devil. When it says resist, it means to stand against. And can I tell you, it's not always easy. We might well kill the elephant in the room. It's not always easy to stand up against the devil. But John, I found out this. That's why he said first submit to God.
All right.
Help me, Holy Ghost. Because he says, I need you to submit to me because you can't stand up against the devil in your own strength. You ain't strong enough. You ain't brave enough. You ain't got enough stamina to stand up against. Because can I tell you this? That when you resist him, Jeanette, he'll flee. But can I tell you something else? He's going to show back up again. And you got to resist him all over again. So the Lord said, look, I need you to always be submitting to me so that when the devil shows up, you got enough strength and stamina to stand up against him because you ain't operating in Josh Brown's power, but you're operating in the spirit of the Lord, and he will give you strength to stand up against the devil. I'm finna get out of here. He says, resist the devil. And the devil got to run off. Anybody need the devil to get out of some places in your life? So y'all don't want to talk. I need him to get away from me. You can sling all the oil you want to. You can play all the gospel channels you want to.
All right.
But until you submit to God, and until you stand up against the devil, he's going to keep on standing right there. Because you ain't did your job. God said your job, the prerequisite of him leaving is for you to submit to me and stand up against the devil. This is what I love. I found out that if you stand up against him, man, this invisible army will get all around you. You can't see them, but you can feel them.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
Y'all remember when Jesus went out in the wilderness? Hopefully I got one Bible reader in here. He was fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. And look who showed up. Satan. Tried to tempt him over and over again. Bro, look how Jesus resisted. It is written. It is written. It is written. What he was using on the devil was the word of God. I got to tell y'all something. The Bible says that the Lord's word will not return unto him void. Not your words about his word, but his word. When the devil shows up, use the word of God. That's all you need. He says, it is written. And the devil had to leave him. Watch this, Daddy, but here comes the invisible army. The angel showed up and ministered to him. What I'm trying to show you that when you fight, your fight ain't in vain. And it's not that God is not going to help you. All he needs to see if you're going to stand up, or you're going to submit to him, and then he's going to come minister to you and say, well, you did a good job in my strength. You stood up against the devil. He's going to pat you on your back. He's going to give you a hug. He's going to wipe your tears away. He's going to cover you. He's going to change your clothes. Y'all ain't in here. Y'all act like I'm preaching about somebody. I'm just preaching about God. He says, dealing with your desires. We dealt with the devil. I'm out y'all way, I'm listening. If you don't get in here, I don't know what to do for you. But then he deals with our distance. It's right there in verse 8. It says, draw nigh to God. And he'll draw nigh to you. What he said then is, get close to God. And God will get close to you. Some people say if you take one step, he'll take two. I came to find out that if I just take a half a step, God will take a million. He said that if you try to get close to me, I'm going to get close to you. I don't know how you feel about it, but I need the Lord close to me. Because I know that I'm fighting a war, Lord, that I can't win without you. I got a war sometimes in myself. Sometimes I got war with others. Sometimes we warring against the devil. But Lord, I'm going to submit to you. I'm going to stand up against the devil. And Lord, I'm going to get close to you. God said there's too much distance. And see, if you somebody's child, it just makes sense to be close to your parent. It just makes sense. And what I don't understand about us is we say God is our Father. But we're so far from it. Our desires are so far from it. We want to do what the world do. We don't want to stand up. We don't want to call a spade a spade. He said, you got to stand up. You got to resist. And watch this. You don't see no way in here, and I know we say it, I've said it. You don't see any way in here where he said, put him under your feet. I know y'all are going to ride with me on that. This is what he says. See, because the minute if I put him under my feet, I ain't going to never be able to move. Huh? I ain't making no progress, Irene. I got to keep my foot on the devil. That ain't what he told me to do. That man, he told me to come under him. Stand up against the devil. Look who's moving. He is. He got to get away. And then, what? Then you keep on with your life. He said, and then here's the progress in your movement. Watch this. He didn't say put your foot on him. He said, this is what I need you to move. He said, get close to me. It's right there in the text, y'all. I ain't making it up if you ain't throwing it out. He don't tell me to stand up on him. He don't tell me to march on his head or none of that. He just told me to stand up. He said, then when you do move, what I need you to do is get close to me.
That's right.
You got to get close to God. See, I've come to find out that the closer you get to God, the clearer the picture becomes. Is it going to rain? Yes. Is it going to storm sometime? Yes. Is the wind going to blow? Yes. Is it going to get hot sometimes? Yes. This is what he promised you, that I will never leave you.
Glory.
Nor forsake you.
Yeah.
And if you do it my way, you'll win some wars.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
If the church do its job, we will go in the enemy's territory and win the war. Well, what is the war? Look, we'll go in there and we'll get some other folks out. Because all of us that are saved now know what it is to be caged up.
Amen.
Preach Josh Brown, I'm finna leave y'all. You know what it is to have shackles on. You know what it is to have a messed up mind. You know what it is to have a funky attitude. You know. And he said, now that I'm delivering you, look, go get some other folk. Help somebody. Be patient now. Because God has been patient with you. He said, I'll give you more grace. So extend some grace to other folks. Don't be so quick to beat folks up. Give them some grace. God gave you grace. God still giving you grace. So you can keep a smile on your face and a strut in your step. Because you ain't operating in your own strength, baby. It's the Spirit of the Lord. And that's how we win wars.
Powerful word, right? Submit yourself unto God. Resist the devil, he shall flee. Well, like you say, you have to submit. Because if you don't submit, he ain't going nowhere. God said when the enemy comes in like a flood, he will lift up a standard against him. Yeah. He said the devil even believes, but he trembles. He believes and he trembles. He know. He can only go as far as God let him. He know. He's scared. People think when they hear the enemy, the devil, oh my God, big bad enemy, big bad devil. Nah, it ain't like that. He come to push up on you a little bit, but he only can do what God allowed him to do. It starts here. He's been alive from the beginning, so he's going to start right here. Lying to you. But if you submit to God, resist the devil, he shall flee. He got to go. He got to go. You got to know how to put him in his place. You got to know how to put him in his place. But it's going to take God, not you. Like I said, you're not powerful enough to do it. That's why God is there. The doors of the church are open. Someone may need to submit themselves to God today. If you feel like the enemy is on your back so he can flee. But the first step is submitting yourself to God. Someone may need prayer today. The doors of the church are open. If you don't have a church home, you may want to join this church. The doors of the church are open. And don't let the enemy fool you today to make you stay in your seat if you need to come.
He's preparing me for something